Okay, what I'm going to do is make this single soldier, Graham Bandit Smith, cross almost the entire map, trigger every enemy, kill like a dozen guys and not take a single hit in the space of a single turn. Start with Overdrive Serum, which you get by researching mutons, means you can run farther. Then we're going to activate the Reaper ability, which means you can keep on doing sword attacks as long as he's killed someone with each one. Now we go to a skirmish character called Mox, who has something called Combat Presence, which grants a single extra action to the squad mate, which means our ranger here can now cover three moves all at once, and that takes him right to the mission objective, which is to plant some C4 or hack an access point or something. Much of a muchness. Normally it takes 3 or 4 turns just to get that far, but thanks to all this stuff I can get him pretty much to the door. But God, look what happens, all these enemies spotting him en route. I need to prepare for a bit of a wait here because everybody knows he's there. There's one single guy. This would obviously be just a recipe for disaster in standard XCOM 2. There's a lot of high level foes here like Andromedans and Archons and God, all sorts of heavy turrets. It's suicide. Clearly it's a suicide mission, and he's run out of points, so I've just left him in the middle there. What a stupid thing to do. The guy is going to die all in the first turn. And here's the Lost as well. They've set off some zombies. These zombies, the Lost would actually attack both XCOM and Advent, so you can kind of use them to your advantage a little bit. You really can't rely on it, so definitely unwise to have a bunch of these herding around my guy here, because he's the guy out in the open. They'll probably make a beeline for him. So what to do? Well, we're going to switch to Bandit's bondmate, Alexad Sakmir, that's me, and because they become besties over the course of the game, they can also grant each other bonus moves, just 1 or 2 per turn depending on how high ranking the bond is. So there we go, he's got 1 point left. Because I activated Reaper earlier with this single action point he's got, he can just start chopping at stuff, and as long as he kills an enemy he can do it. But actually I should start by shooting Lost first, because every time you shoot a Lost, if you kill him you get your action point back, so I can just polish off a couple of those because they're pretty easy to kill if you've got decent weapons. And I've still got all my action points. In fact, I've got a bonus action point after that because I did 2 without moving. I don't entirely understand the maths, but I will take it. Now to do the sword strike, I want to take out the shield bearer, because if I don't, he will just add 3 blobs of shield to every enemy here in the next turn. That's going to make life much harder. So with each sword strike, it does 1 point less of damage, so I need to be a little bit thoughtful about what I go for here. I probably can't go after any more heavy ammo, so we just get rid of some general Advent fodder, I reckon. You see I've travelled even further off over the map without having movement per se, but the sword kind of includes a movement, so it's a good way to dance about the place even on just a single point. We're still on the first character of the first turn here, and that's 5 things he's killed already, and he's still got an action point, and he hasn't taken any damage, and oh good, we've just triggered even more enemies, 2 sectoids and a gatekeeper. Now I could carry on bothering the Advent here, but my concern is those sectoids on the next turn are both going to try and mind control my guy, and so I'm going to end up with one of my soldiers off in enemy ranks from my enemy. So I'm going to use my remaining Reaper strikes on taking out these guys, even though there are possibly more pressing threats, and more to the point I've left loads of guys sort of over on the left there all clustered, and I'm now off in the wilderness getting further and further away from my destination. I could, it looks like I've seen a couple more lost, so 80%, yeah, I'll take my chances on these. If I miss these shots then I'm kind of stuck. It's a bit risky, so I guess I'll go back to the sectoid for now and make sure he's definitely done. So I've still got an action point. I've still got sort of a free sword strike if I need it from Reaper. And if I manage to kill these Lost with a gun blast, then I get my point back to do another one. So what are we up to now? 7, 8 enemies all down, single character, single turn. I must be close to double figures by now. Oh dear. Well, I missed. I've got an upgrade on that weapon, which means it still does 3 points of damage. I've also got an upgrade with the hair trigger, which has a 15% chance of a free action, which happened there. That was miraculous. So I get yet another chance. I'm going to not take any chances here. Use my sword on him, which also gets me into a bit of cover. That's it. My points are gone, and look at all these guys still around me, and I've just left Bandit out there in the wilderness. Oh no, he has still got a point, of course, because it was Reaper. I'll try for the headshot. I got another Lost down. That's good. So I've got another point left. What should I do here? Is there anything I can kill? I don't think so. I can do some damage to a heavy turret or to the gatekeeper, but I'm just going to be left standing there with two heavy things. Well, there's a 60% sword chance on an Advent guy, but I don't like those odds. 60%. Not sure about that. I think what I might do, maybe soften up the gatekeeper. I can't kill him, but he's such a big enemy that anything I can do at this stage just to start making inroads into him probably makes sense. Or should I do the turrets? I'm up on the roof. What I want to do is get close to my objective again, that thing I've got to hack. So if I do that, I've taken 4 points because he's got so much armor, not a lot. And I've left my left Bandit just standing there in the wilderness, in the middle of everything. Fortunately, his bondmate can give him one more action this match. I'm using them both up in this first turn, but what it means is I can send Bandit right over to the access point where he's supposed to be. Again, the kind of place I wouldn't normally have been for 3 or 4 turns into a match. And he's in some pretty good cover there. It's not high cover, but it covers a lot of sides. So he's got a chance of surviving this, but there are a lot of enemies still around. What I'm going to do next is use my specialist, Adam Professor Smith, use aid protocol to stick a sort of defense grid on him, which just gives him a better chance of surviving any attacks. It's not going to keep him alive necessarily, it just ups the odds. But what now? All these guys are far too far away to possibly do anything useful, unless
a good decision.
I'm going to send this guy, my Templar, this girl rather, Lexi, as far forward as she can. No good, some Lost. I thought I'd already uncovered everything on the map, but there's a few more guys hiding there. And Lexi is stuck there without any points, but what she has done is create a line of sight back to that other turret, the one I didn't kill. So I can now use Specialist's hacking protocol to, if I'm really lucky, fingers crossed, we got it. We've now got a turret on our side, right in the heart of where most of the enemies are gathered. Which lets me see what's going on. Also, hopefully, lets me take a couple of pot shots. Although those turrets are pretty bad aim, so I'll eat my hat if it does any significant damage. But more to the point, it's just something else for the enemies to attack instead of Bandit, which gives him another fighting chance to survive this turn of turns. I'm going to send my Reaper, who's a sort of stealth sniper, forwards. Can't see any enemies, but she can use her remote detonation thing to blow up anything explosive. It's kind of a bit wasteful, but I'm just interested in maximising the single takeout for this. She nukes that, and that takes out a single Lost, which also draws a Lost swarm closer. That will be fun on subsequent turns. But yeah, we must be well past double figure kills by now. Back to the turret. If I can take out that Lost, then yeah, I get a free action. I wonder what I can do with that. The odds only 60%, much lower on Advent. So I'm not going to be able to kill anything, it's just a question of what I soften up a bit. Now I do get 2 shots anyway with the turrets because they don't move. So maybe... if I could have scored both shots on this guy, that would have been 1 more down. I think I'll just leave that in Overwatch, it could be useful for some crowd control on the enemy turn. What I'm going to do is use Mox's bond mate point in addition to his combat presence thing to give Lexi another move, because I reckon she could take out a couple of loss just to stop them mobbing her next turn. She kills this one, yes, then she gets a pop at another one. 95, that should be fine. Oh, didn't do enough damage there, so that's still standing, but nah, it's only 1 lost, it's not so bad. Right, alien turn now. Here's my Overwatch. I forget what these new guys are called. They turn into sort of nano cloud, which makes them very, very hard to hit as they run. So that's all my turret can do. And I've got no one on Overwatch. The enemies are all looking at Bandit and this turret, so as I hoped, they're wasting their shots on one of their own, which is very silly because it would have come back to them in a couple of turns anyway, but I am quite happy for them to squander their firepower on something that doesn't ultimately matter. Because my goal is to end this turn with Bandit here not having taken any damage, at the very least remaining alive after this epic run and this slew of kills. What's the gatekeeper going to do? That's the biggest player on the board, so I've been a bit worried about that. He's making some kind of psi zombie, I think. So that's not too big a deal. Might be later, but not now. You know, I'm not even sure which of my characters has caused this tactical analysis thing, but it's nothing every enemy. I had a free Overwatch shot there, which is another ability I bought for Bandit. He didn't hit, but you know, it shows you what you can get, the sheer number of attacks. Right, the aliens have taken out their own turret. Kind of. Oh, and we get Blade Storm power as well. If an enemy comes within melee range, he automatically attacks. It didn't kill the Archon, but damn near did. So that's not going to survive the next turn. Got more loss coming in. Hopefully they're just going to bother that gatekeeper for me. What are these ones doing? Are they going to go for Lexi? And that's it. Turn 2, no damage. Was that 15 enemies done? I will take that. That is how XCOM 2 War of the Chosen can go, because everyone is now a superhero, for better or worse.